Your story starts off as at a young age, you befriend a minister
That's
in
correct.
your local community. Tell me about that.
Well, anyway, back in 1970s, there was a minister, an Anglican minister that came to the community of Wiagama Lake. And he had access to the community because he was also a pilot. And then he also was in Boy Scouts.
So he would take the boys, including yourself, on trips. He'd take you on flights in his plane. He really became a friend to the local boys.
That's correct. Yeah, I think that's how he got many boys to trust him.
And then that relationship took a turn for the worse. Tell me what happened.
Yes, I guess I was around probably around 10 or 11. That's when things happened. What I say are beyond my control because, what happened was like he sexually abused me. And then I do recall where it happened, what I smelled, because, each one of us, we have what I call a memory bank. And in that memory bank, we have everything, whether it was good or bad, stored there. So that's, it was there. After it happened, I stored it in a memory bank. And basically, from there, it was in my back pocket kind of thing. I was taking it wherever I went.
Did you ever tell anybody about the abuse?
No, I didn't, because shame is associated with sexual abuse. A person who's been sexually abused, they have this shame that they carry with them. So it's hard for a person to come out and talk about it and to even tell a close friend or even parents.
And what happened after, as you grew up, you started taking that anger out on people. You started abusing, you started gas sniffing, trying to take your life. Tell me about how that anger came out.
There was so much pain because of what happened that I had to find a way to cover up that pain. So what did I do? I abused alcohol. I got into gas sniffing, self-mutilation. That's how I dealt with the pain. And there was also, a time too that I wanted to take my own life. I popped pills, and I also wanted to use a firearm to end my life because of so much pain I was carrying.
And did you associate the pain with your abuse? Did you know that there was a correlation between the two, or did you think, I'm just going through a rough time, or did you know that that was the reason why?
No, I couldn't make that connection because at a young age, I couldn't. What happened here? This is how I behaved, because I used to think I'm doing this because, hey, I'm a teenager, but I was never able to make connection to it.
Take us back to that day when you did pull out that firearm and you wanted to take your life. What was going through your mind?
Well, I saw a newspaper of what was happening in a neighboring community, and I saw pictures. Memories started flooding, and I saw a gun flash before my eyes. I can still see it. It was Model 94, 3030. This is how I was going to end my life. But somehow, I must have heard this somewhere, because I had to find a way to get rid of this feeling of wanting to take my own life. So I found a coworker who was there with me. I said, this is what happened. This is what's going on. So I kind of had to unload, even though my co-worker at that time didn't know how to help me. So when I went back to Dryden, I went and looked for a counselor, and I did find one.
And this was a big step for you, because you found a counselor. He was a man, and you had trust issues when it came to men, especially white men.
Yes, something had to take place in my heart, and then I had to trust him. So the walls slowly came down, but it was just enough for me to kind of extend my a handshake to him. That's how far it went. And so we had our counseling sessions, and there were times I would be so angry during counseling sessions. There'd be times when I would just be bawling because all this emotion, all of this garbage was just coming out.
Yeah.
And but he knew when to stay back. He knew when to leave me alone, not to give me a hug, not to shake my hand. He knew. There is a book out there called The Door of Hope, and in there is steps to freedom from sexual abuse. And there is a section, I think it's maybe a step 7, or maybe step 6 or 7, where it says, forgive the abuser for your benefit, something like that. So I did all the steps except that. I skipped that, and then, thinking, here I'm at step 10 now, everything's going well. But no, I had to go back to step 7 and forgive my abuser.
And you shared the letter that you had written to this man, and I read the letter, and it made me cry because I thought, wow, for you to take that step to forgive somebody like that is huge. But to also extend to him this offer of salvation, you said to him that you want to introduce him to Jesus, that he can truly know who Jesus is. How important was that to be able to say to him, you need to know Jesus?
Jesus died on the cross for our sins, the sins of the world. And who am I to hold a grudge against someone when he has forgiven me? He has forgiven me. I deserve God's wrath. You deserve God's wrath. We all deserve God's wrath. He doesn't owe us anything, but because of his mercy, his grace, he forgives us. So we can turn around and forgive others.
Wow.
He has shown us, he has shown me his mercy, and I can turn around and show mercy to the one who sexually abused me.
Wow.
It's all of him. It's all of God.